We got a few.
Yo, Jelani gave one of the most aggressive highs. Yeah.
That wasn't a high. It's like these niggas.
No, I'm just saying.
Bro, you did that wave when the kids just trying to sell you chocolate for the basketball team.
Because the first topic is like, it might get
out of here.
It might get crazy.
That's what that is.
I'm a little slippery today. Pause. And, you know, I had a little liquor in my system, so my opinions might get crazy.
Yo, when that stuff fall over, because you
see how it's...
Bro, you on the edge. Like Mufasa Scar on the edge, bro.
I can't move the table back.
You can move. Hey, man, it's your phone.
You know what?
It's your phone.
Yo.
It's your phone.
I wasn't paying attention to that.
Bruh, yo. It's his phone. Anyways. Jesus Christ. Yo, you tuning into the Notion Podcast. I'm your host, Dizzy D Spill, with my co-host in the building,
Jelani Evans.
Farmer Paul. An earthquake would knock that right.
Bro, it's not going to take much. Just all I got to do is walk past that and that phone is falling, bro.
Nah, it's an iPhone 11, so it's official. The screen.
Official what?
Because when they start
officially
making the screen, when they start making
he has no protection on it at all.
The screens are better now, so they don't.
Now
you see,
you
see,
yours is old, bro.
Look at the screen.
You bring that ancient relic in my chambers.
You'll see no
iPhone 11
Look, blemishes you only see up close.
That's crazy.
That's
that is crazy. How? I know you going old school, like you.
Hey, I got it.
I didn't know you meant technology.
I gotta find out.
Too.
Well, I gave the update to my son, so I could have updated my phone a while ago.
The dude who ain't acting right. Okay, make it make sense. My bad. All right, yeah.
But look. I got his phone last year in January. I took it away in like March
ago in January.
But he's in junior high and he got so.
Okay, I got some advice for the parents out there.
I'm trying to figure out.
I got some advice for you.
Communicate with your child. You got to know where the fuck they at.
Listen, I have advice. Listen, I helped my brother. I helped my older brother in these situations, okay? I am very good at this. When your child acts up and you need to get a hold of them, flip phone.
No, you don't have to do that no more. That's what I was thinking. So look, I took his phone away because I'm like, damn.
It's nicer than mine.
I think he had the 14. I think he had the 14. But you can, the iPhone parental settings now, nigga, you can set who they could talk to at what period of time. You can set the times and you can schedule what time they phone shut off, shut on, what apps.
If you give them a flip phone, you got none of that.
My thing is, if you give them a flip phone, they got to spend all day on YouTube figuring out how to work it. But guess what? There's no YouTube on the flip phone, so they got to figure it out.
Look, you could set I just set the settings when I left the house. He can only communicate with me.
Give him a flip phone. He can only communicate
but look, you need him to, because he's in junior high, I gotta have him be able to have some type of little GPS thing to get to where you
understood
know, because he catches the bus after school.
I understand that.
And it's the season. It's dark.
And the 11 don't do that.
The 11 does do that.
Oh, okay. Because I would have upgraded my phone and gave him the old one. But like when you started acting right,
I would have gave him the first version. He'd have got the first version of the iPhone that got GPS.
At that point, I think I didn't even care. There was like nothing that I didn't feel like doing all the switching my phone and all that. I didn't really care.
Can't you like airdrop and things of that nature?
I probably could have.
Yeah,
if I thought it through.
Yeah, okay. Just say you didn't think about it. Yeah, okay.
I'm still helping on the flip phone, but I understand. Yo, I gotta talk about the wardrobe, man. Y'all kind of coordinated, like.
No, he not. He militant. I'm laid.
No. not coordinated together. Not coordinated together. Not coordinated together. I mean,
I'm trying to get this brother to join them the memberships and shit.
No, I'm just talking about the styles that y'all put together, man.
Preaching, I'm like, bro, come on.
Yeah, I heard Poe yell. I heard Poe calling somebody a sucker before he walked in here.
You jobbed, mother.
He's like, "What's up?" I was like, "What's up?" How you got that?
On the black hand side. Right. Now, my man, he got the. I talk about it.
Talk about what?
I mean, the hoodie's fire.
Tell him what's going on. No, for real.
The stable joint.
Yeah.
Well, no, just something slight. I just threw this on. I really ain't put no thought into it.
My man just walked in the closet and walked out like, wow.
It's the earth. It's the earth shit going on right now. Yeah. Show them the
there you go.
The feet. There we go.
Yeah, go crazy.
There we go.
Yeah,
go crazy.
You know,
what you got, Poe?
Coordinate.
Man, you know these
Black Panther Poe.
Doc Martens, man. You know.
Said you got some Doc Browns and what else?
And I'm still a vegetarian vegan because this is pleather, not leather.
Okay.
So we ain't kill no animals to get this. You know what I'm talking about?
All right.
Yeah.
My man Curtis Mayfield.
Steak sandwich yesterday. I was listening to this guy. Listen to this guy.
I dig it.
He know.
Yo, man, we got to get into it, man. We definitely got to get into it.
Don't skip over it. Come on, man. The champion sweater.
Man, yo, they've seen this before.
I actually haven't seen that one. But I've never seen a champion sweater with that many champions.
Logos.
Yeah, nah, that was fine. That's actually
he really the champ. He really
the champ is here.
It's
I got all the topics.
I like the colorway.
I guess reiterated a couple different places.
You know, champion usually is like big ass hoodie with just that little.
Yeah, with the little. Yeah,
I like that joint.
Yeah, that's my little something
Show the people
for the cold weather. You know what I mean? You know how they.
Of course, you gotta have a little cold beanie on and shit.
You're supposed to wear the joints that go with it.
I shouldn't be wearing a beanie right now. The way we got shellacked.
Nah. See, he don't know. I know. See, I know what's in his closet. I know what's in his closet.
Yeah, got a couple fire pairs of kicks, man. You know what I'm saying?
Your boy?
Nah, he don't know, man. Hold on. He find out.
How many years has it been, bro, since that conversation?
Probably about 4. It's probably been about 4. All right, I'll tell him the story. So basically, I was joking with one of the homies that you're familiar with about not getting the Conkers, right? And he was like, bro, what year did the Conkers come out? The re-release. Like 2019?
Yeah, somewhere around
December 2019?
I'm saying 2019. I'm saying 2019.
Or 2020? No, it was before the pandemic.
It was it had to be before the pandemic.
Yeah, it was, because I remember I had to clean up hair probably for the same person you're talking about.
So
it might have been 18.
2019. I don't know.
It could have been. But I told him, I was like, man, I didn't get him when I really did.
Right.
Because me and the wife got him.
Right.
And he was like, dang, man, that's too bad. You don't want to get on like StockX or this, that, and the other. I was like, nah, I'll just take the L, right? So I'm at work. He sent me a text message with the kick sitting on the box. And it's like,
so
I was like, so that's how you doing? He's like, bro, I'm just trying to motivate you, man, just to get him, right? And I was just like, all right. And so I went in.
Mind you, before this moment, were you as much of a sneakerhead as you are now?
I've always liked the shoes, but not willing to pay the money that was required for them. So then I started being like, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah.
So then I started copping like crazy. But I'm only sending you.
He's sending me pictures of every shoe he's copping.
And I'm like, I'm sending them to you, and I'm like, yo,
he copping heat.
I got these. Hey, what you think about these? And he's like, bruh.
And the one of the motivations was,
it was like he basically it felt like it was a flex, like I'm just trying to motivate you, like my shoes.
Yeah, he didn't know your paper was
like my shoes was like you know, and you feel bad for somebody, and it's like, man, I'm just trying to see the better version of you. You know what I'm saying?
But then you show up to an event or a show or a party or something, you have something on your feet.
Yeah. So I'm showing up, but you got to remember, because we got shut down for a minute, I haven't been able to show up, but I haven't stopped showing up.
Bro, mind you, imagine.
I'm still trying to find a race.
2018. It was
2018.
So 2018, from 2018
till about 2021, 2022.
He's showing me everything he's copping. But your man don't know that he's got this.
Yeah.
So imagine your boy that's like maybe not the sneakerhead as much as you are, and you just trying to like kind of flex but fake motivate, and you don't know he's in his closet right now. You motivated him to get everything he needed to get. So
I brought housework home. I got all kinds of inventory at that point.
His closet is not comparing to what his closet is right now. So when he step out and he put his feet out one day and just stretch them out and the shoes laces untied.
I started copping in every way. I copped the custom was it the 12s? Yeah. The custom 12s you did?
Oh, yeah.
That was in the midst of all of that. I said, ain't nobody got these.
Yeah.
So
he just kept sending me text messages, just showing me like, hey, look, this is what I got. I'm like, bro.
Couple part about it is like, I put them up on a couple pair of kicks. Like, yeah, you should get these. I sent them a link for something like, yeah, you need these in your closet.
Yeah.
Like, I'm actually finna cop these. He's like, word?
He show up with them.
Me too.
Is that right?
Exactly.
It's good. I ain't tripping, you know.
Exactly.
My closet's stupid.
Yeah. I was like, all right, I see what's going on. So yeah, now it's just a matter of meeting up.
Easy.
I'm not there at all.
I probably got maybe 15.
You can't count your Crocs.
Damn, 5.
Those were borrowed, and I have not put my feet in those since 2020. I learned my lesson. That was a lesson. I will not put my feet in those again. I gotta know the Joe Budden editions. You gotta get those.
Who got to get
because
those?
the bottoms, they're all terrain. They all.
Who are you running from? Who are you running from?
Joe got in a scuffle in the
what terrain?
They're Uggs. My bad. Uggs.
Do you feel Crocs are appropriated? Like
he was in a club.
Terrain.
There was liquor on the floor, and he said he did his thing.
Imagine so. I mean, at that point, he just saying he don't care.
So fully screech protection.
Well, there've been
full screech protection.
Like, think about that. You just don't care. You just
not Crocs. My bad. Those were Uggs, and I would not put my feet in those.
Okay, I'm not wearing no Uggs.
Yeah, not doing that.
I mean, all right, that's not true.
The low cut ones. You seen them?
You talking about Uggs house shoes? Because I had a pair. Those.
Have you seen
the bottoms? Look crazy.
Yeah.
Frank Cooker?
No.
You see, y'all not familiar with him. He's is a designer. He's crazy. He's the main reason behind Jordan Energy. You remember, like, back in the day, that Jordan NRG.
Oh, yeah.
He's the mastermind behind that. You feel me? And so he left from Jordan Brand, became like a free agent. He's done a lot of different collabs with a lot of different companies, not just sneaker companies, but a lot of different companies just in general. But most recently, he did a collab with Saucony, or Saucony, however you pronounce it, which was pretty dope. Okay. And then he just did a collab with Uggs, and those are pretty dope. I would actually like those are fresh. Those are stylish. I would rock.
Are they pretty pricey?
I like that the running and walking shoe companies are coming back.
I don't know what the numbers are on those. You know what I'm saying? To be honest,
it's kind of weird because we're in a space where a lot more shoes are getting easy access because the resellers are feeling the heat. But then at the same time, there's some stuff that's just keeping its equity.
Well, it's just. It all depends on how you look at everything as far as the shoe game as a whole. Because I mean, like, at this point, with the economy being the way it is, inflation and everything, people are a little more strategic with what they purchase, and they're holding on to their money because they don't just have a lot of disposable income. So then that in itself will kill out the resellers because they're buying in bulk and they're not able to move it to, you know what I'm saying, re-up the way that they would like to. Not just that, the sneaker game is like, it's crowded. You know what I'm saying? Like, they flooded the market with so many different kicks, and all the brands have done this to a point where it's just like, eh. And then when you look at, like, Jordan brand specifically, there's only so many ways you can make a color scheme or remake a shoe, and they're releasing the same models. Right. They don't really have anything new or innovative, so to speak. And while they are recycling designs, you have companies like Saucony, New Balance, Adidas, new materials, new shoes, you know what I'm saying, new silhouettes. They are doing the better collaborations because they're giving the people, the designer that they're collaborating with, full control to execute the way that they see fit to tell a story. And that's another thing. A lot of these companies, their collaborators, the designers, they are telling stories with the shoes. With Jordan, you're not really getting a story anymore. You're just getting a collab with, such and such, they're dropping fives, and like, so what's the meaning behind them? There really is no, it's just, it almost feels more like a money grab than anything.
And you have, like, our generation, older millennials that are kind of diverging to the older brands that are starting to come back out and kind of tailor their style of how they want to dress. Like, you know what? I'm over that phase. I got a couple things that I like from back then, but I'm going to go this route. I'm going to switch this up, and I'm going to start dressing like this.
And there's a couple reasons for that as well. Jordan and Nike, overall, the quality has diminished. While other companies have upped their quality, their materials. And then at the end of the day, Jordan and Nike is a majority basketball company. Right. So a lot of shoes are bulky. As you get older, you want to dress sleeker, more slimmer, you know what I'm saying, a different type of style, as you said. And so with that being said, you look to the running shoes that are smaller, more sleeker, more compact, more comfortable.
Because I'm a blazer guy.
But them things,
blazers
they're
and
flat.
dunks for me are the blazers for me are fine. They're although they're flat, they aren't like Chuck Taylors for me. Like they don't.
Nah,
give
they're
me
not
the
Chuck.
arch
They're not Chuck Taylor
issue.
flat.
But so I have a I got a
That's
twofold
different.
question. The impact, has there been an impact on the sneaker community in regards to maybe consumers who are okay with the more vintage or I guess more distressed shoes? Because like the area that I'm in, I like a lot of the stuff I like to wear during this time of the year is like workwear stuff, and so I don't really mind my shoes being a little dirty, and not the dirty like the new dirty like the Air Force One dirty, but like more of like
Worn.
a little worn.
Well, see, it's kind of crazy because the younger generation is into vintage all the way across the board, right?
For sure.
That's why when you think about like vintage clothing and
Yeah, you're right.
you know what I'm saying,
Even down to like the way they take their photos, it's all that vintage look.
Yeah, they're going back to that. So the worn, distressed look as far as shoes go is definitely something that the younger generation is really into and driving. They're the driving force behind that. Some of the older sneakerheads, collectors, enthusiasts, however you want to address them, they're also into something of the vintage look, but they don't really. I mean, for them, it's just old. Right. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have the same effect for the younger generation where it's like they're trying to take it back.
Some shit.
Yeah, take it back. Not even relive because they never been there, but take it back to a different, you know what I'm saying? Whereas for the older, we like, yo, this is just how I rock. Right. And so, but yeah, a lot of the worn, distressed vintage look as far as kicks go, I've seen more 85 Jordan 1s, especially from older individuals in the last few years than I think I ever have. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it don't get no more vintage than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just about, if anything, they're getting the soles re-glued type thing. They're not repainting them, so they still look old or worn. There's like paint chipping around the heel, and they're fine with that because it shows the age. And in some instances, that's more respectable, having those kicks go that far back that are still wearable and, you know what I'm saying, maintained.
And the clothing, like if you're gonna be wearing vintage clothing that looks a little worn, it kind of throws the whole outfit off a little bit if your shoes are too clean.
Yeah.
Like you know, it is hard for us in the coming up in the 90s.
Yeah.
Being clean was part of the
it was part of the attire.
But that's why some of the younger generations into that, and the old heads, you go old heads, like we like, yo, kicks got to be clean, the laces got to be clean because that's how we came up.
Yeah.
That's what we were into. You know what I'm saying? Like they've even started doing this thing where they have like a ways you can yellow your soles, and you know what I'm saying, like make your new shoes look old.
Wow.
It's kind of crazy. But hey, to each their own. Everybody got their own style, man. You like it, I love it. Live it up.
Gangster.
You know what I'm saying? Because everybody has their own style.
Yeah, for
everybody
sure.
interprets fashion differently. For
sure.
You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with everybody's interpretation, but again, to each their own. You know what I'm saying?
I dig that. Let's get into it, man. Cameron versus Melyssa Ford, as far as in the comments that she made or alluding to based off of a story that him and Mace was telling when they were teenagers.
I mean, tell your audience what we're talking about.
Basically,
who's Melyssa Ford? First,
Melyssa Ford is a video vixen from back when we were young bulls.
All right.
And
vixen, for sure.
That's all I know about her as far as in what she's done in the entertainment world.
Didn't she write a book, a tell-all book or something like that?
She wrote a book. She's been in the industry for a while. She's actually Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
She's been she was probably like one of the top video vixens besides
I would say it was her, Vita Guerrera, Buffy the Body, and a couple other names I can't think of right now.
Yeah. Definitely one of the top ones. She's been on Joe. She had a podcast previously. I think a couple that she was on previously. She was a co-host on one, and I think she hosted another herself.
Okay.
And then she's recently, in the last year and a half or so, been on the Joe Budden podcast as one of the co-hosts.
You know what? It's like, I've been wondering this because I seen like she was giving tips about this and she said something and it was like from a podcast and everything. And my whole question honestly was like, what's her validity?
Like, what's her validity, or what is her reasoning for being on the show?
Like, yeah, like what weight does she hold in a sense?
I think for me that being on the show, the weight that she holds, and not even being on the show, the weight that she holds is just her experience being in the industry for so many years and a different perspective.
But the industry has changed immensely, like
yeah, for sure.
In a lot of ways. I mean, like,
but you want to get
she's washed.
I agree. In my opinion, I think she.
I don't know if she's washed. I wouldn't say washed. I wouldn't agree with washed. I definitely believe her time has come as far as like the video vixen era and like that whole thing.
I think that's why she's washed, because she's no longer an asset in a industry that she was hyper focused on. So now she's pivoting. Now because we know who she is.
But washed would mean like if you still had video vixens are no longer here. That's a thing of the past, right?
Right.
So most videos that we see of a woman
I don't see any videos.
If we see a video, is usually
nobody cares about who the girl is in the video.
Whoever is his partner, her female, he know that's in the video.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't say she's washed because video vixens are not like part of the whole culture as anymore. So it's not like she's like not being sought after.
Her position in the industry is
She's
obsolete.
She's still bad though.
I mean, but that
Melyssa Ford.
I think that she may be desirable. I think that she may be desirable to our inner child from being a teenager. Because if you compare her to just IG models, nobody is going to look in her direction.
Yeah, but she
the
almost
youth,
50, but she looked good.
yeah. So does Angela Bassett.
Yeah, for sure.
Right,
And
Nia Long. Right. I mean, here's my thing. Exactly. So if you put
them over Melyssa,
so if you put these women in a room with Melyssa Ford,
them a different level. That's a different.
Yeah,
level.
if you put her in a room with them, she's not even a conversation.
Now,
she's not a conversation.
I can't do that to M Ford.
Yes, I am.
I can't do that.
You know what Ford stands for? Fix or repair daily. Find on road dead as far as in a car. You see what I'm saying?
It's the Canadian version.
Yeah.
All right, man.
So that's what I'm saying.
On road dead. The
fuck? Nah, y'all can't do that to M Ford, man.
Listen. I'm with Cameron 100%. All the pressure he applied. All
right, let's tell the audience.
So this is what she did.
I mean, no. Not even what she did. You gotta go back because Cam was on his show with Mace.
Exactly. Yeah,
they were talking about, you know what I'm saying,
shenanigans when they were teenagers.
Back in the day.
Yeah,
back in the days. You know what I'm saying. He said in the 90s, and this specified it was in 92.
Right.
And then on the Joe Budden podcast, they were conversing about that conversation that was had.
Right.
And Cameron stated that they was in a whorehouse and, you know, they did some things and whatnot. And then she said, who's not to say that there wasn't underage
alluded. She asked the question. She was trying to make a hot take.
Yep.
And she alluded to the fact that she said,
who's not to say that there were some underage workers in
that environment, totally disregarding the fact that they too were underage in that environment.
Everybody who was on the podcast, we were like, "Whoa, yo, you wildin'! That's you tripping? That's doing a lot."
They said it was disgusting.
She kind of doubled down in that. It was
she was pressured to apologize, to keep it real. When I looked at the clips after, when they did the episode after, she was pressured to apologize about what she said. It wasn't like, you know what, I gave it some thought the other night. I looked at some comments and I looked at some commentary, and you know what, I need to recant my statement.
I think the pressure to apologize was from the response from everyone else outside.
That's
what
makes it disingenuous.
For sure. But because everyone on the pod was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Right.
And I'm sure afterwards there was in-depth more conversation.
Joe Budden asked her, "Did you want to take the clip out?" She said no. Leave the clip in after it was said.
And so this is the thing, right? Cam got at Joe for that.
For that, exactly.
Now, as somebody who, like, okay, I own the podcast, I got people on here. I want everybody to feel like they can say what they want to say, and I want to give them that freedom and that right. Mm-hmm. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying, limit anybody on. But after the fact, I'm gonna ask you to double check to make sure that you're cool and you're comfortable with that, because there probably could be some backlash or some issues. I feel like that's why he asked her, like, yo, are you sure that you want to leave that in there?
Right.
And she was like, yeah. So then it just like, all right, so you said what you said, you're aware of what you said, and you stood on that moving forward.
Yep.
So everything that came after that, you deserve. There's no, you know what I'm saying? Like, for when Cam hopped on live, he addressed the issue, said he don't want your apology, and he, exposed, or, you know what I'm saying, gave some information about your history. I mean, like,
yeah, because the first response that they had on the show was very respectful. It was a very understood and response. Cam's response, which I haven't really listened to on his live, I could just only imagine what he probably said outside of what he said on the show.
He was full-fledged Cam.
To me, what I didn't like what Melyssa did was the comment about this unchecked misogyny thing. It was like, yo, Melyssa, you realize that a lot of men, a lot of boys get their sexual experiences from older women. First of all, that's one thing that you don't know. That's what they was trying to kind of say. Like, hold on, we was who checked on us? A lot of young boys, a lot of men, myself included. Most, if not 90% of my sexual experiences have been initiated by a girl or a woman, especially at a very, very, very young age.
Yep,
at a very young age. Now, when they spoke about it, they spoke about it respectfully, but you can't really tell someone how to respond to your perceived disrespect. So once she said the whole unchecked misogyny kind of comment after they like went in on her, is like, you gotta eat that. Like, yeah, they were respectful on the show because that's the show's response, but his personal response, regardless of whether he said some shit that's crazy, that's Killer Cam.
You
already know.
You should have.
Like, he went out her helmet.
Not to mention,
he spit on the little girl on what's that, Killer season 2. He spit on Loogie on the little girl in a movie. Like, who came up with that line?
And I think he was improv, to be honest, because
the little girl had to really get spit on though.
Yeah,
it wasn't water.
No, he improv.
Nigga, Loogie don't hurt shit.
Hey,
like, nigga, her parents had to sign and say, yes, let that nigga spit on her,
bro,
on the fucking movie.
Hey,
that's
Cameron improvs in his movies. The Paid in Full, he really punched dude in the car and pulled him out the car.
That's killer, man.
That was not part of the script.
You gotta relax when you're talking about that man.
You think this is only gonna go one way?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand when they come for somebody, especially somebody that is full-fledged committed to the controversy. It's not going to just go one way.
Right.
It's not going to go one way. And that's what I think that people like Melyssa Ford and other people need to understand because this isn't the first time she did this.
And you want to know what's crazy? As I'm sitting here thinking about it, it's like, why would you even make that type of statement? Like, I'm sitting there thinking, it's like, first of all, what you address after that, as far as your reasoning, talking about, well, I've seen a lot of things and talked to women about sex trafficking with you.
I watch a lot of documentaries.
That's all that has happened in the past 20 years. Back like in the 90s, that wasn't as much of a big deal or a thing as it is now. Secondly, you don't know this man, his history, the backstory, the location. You know nothing to even make that type of
Sometimes she doesn't even know what she's saying, because she made up another story about a comedian doing some wild stuff backstage, had showed up to the comedy show with 2 German shepherds and was very rude, and that comedian was supposed to be Eddie Griffin, right?
I thought so.
Right? Until Eddie Griffin came out and said, I don't even deal with dogs. And what do I look like showing up to a comedy show? You have the wrong comedian.
Yeah, that wasn't me.
You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, I feel like Joe Budden podcast kind of takes an L letting her tell stories. She shouldn't tell any more stories until they're verified.
I think honestly,
that's why when you ask the question about what's her validity,
I think Joe let that on the show on there purposefully.
Of course.
He wanted to let her know that what you just said was crazy.
Yeah.
No, he just letting her look stupid.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
Well, because one, I like the way he kind of treats her on the show. I'm gonna be honest. A lot of people in the comments they don't like that he's like always making her the brunt of the jokes, but I like that because
how else are we supposed to see accountability?
she's with the guys. What are we?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, he gives her. There's points in times where certain of the cast members will give her cool and they'll be like protective and they take the role of the one who's going to stand up for her in the show sometimes and not let everyone go. Like,
You raise your banners
but
at
they
the
be
kingdom.
on her ass because she be saying some crazy shit, dog.
Lies. Basically.
And accusations.
Mind you, she's on
Accusations.
she's on a male show that has a lot of bullshit on it that we talk.
Here's my
about.
thing. If you reverse the roles and you have a man on any of these daytime talk shows and he has the a podcast, he has the audacity to say anything that has anything to do with attacking the character of a woman, even if they disagree with that woman. I've seen dozens of women defend women like the Sexy Reds or the Krishan Rocks, no matter what it is they do or say.
All right.
That's how much they'll band together for the controversy. So if you're in the locker room, as what we like to call it when we have male conversations, and you want to say something out of pocket, you're going to get that same treatment. There's no grace being given because you're a lady, and what are you doing in the men's locker room anyway? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So, true. Hey, hopefully she'll learn from it. I don't think she will because she didn't learn from the last time she did something like that.
If there's a lawsuit, she'll learn.
Yeah.
No, it won't be any. Definitely.
Nah, Cam wouldn't do it.
That's
why not?
That's not a strong enough case for defamation.
If it was 50 is petty like that.
She didn't make an accusation.
If it was 50 would be.
She asked a question.
Yeah.
And there has to and because she retracted it and apologized.
It could be
nothing. There's the retraction and the apology. First off, like that's one of the.
If he lost endorsements or something like that behind it, and he could do defamation, maybe
he's not gonna get in.
But he's not gonna.
No, he's not gonna win that.
Nah, he's not.
It's gonna be a open and shut case of.
I don't see Rico doing that.
Take it down and. It's
I don't see Rico doing that.
Rico did some things.
How y'all feel about Nick Cannon doing his event? I
heard about that.
The dark skin versus light skin.
I heard about this shit this morning. I wanted to do more research before I even commented on it, but I ain't gonna lie, bro. From what I've heard, and I only heard briefly, that's some bullshit. That's it's weird. At this age and at this time period, it's weird.
I want to say it's ignorant, but I feel like he knows better, so it's stupid.
It's weird.
It's stupid.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's just weird.
What is the whole thing? And the thing about it,
I feel like I got to throw a word out there because you got weird, you got stupid. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. I'm gonna balance it out. We got weird, we got stupid, dangerous. And we got dangerous.
That type of commentary is dangerous for the community. Definitely.
Nicholas.
What was the point? So dark skin versus light, like.
I mean, the thing.
The only time the conversation was funny to me is when the Cavs and Warriors played each other, and they said it was the ultimate battle. I thought that was pretty funny. Because
you can see it, but when it comes to like,
who's behind Zeus?
Oh yeah.
That's part of the. That's part of the problem too.
That's the first show he could think of was the dark skin versus light skin. Tyler Perry might be the owner of Zeus.
Of course not. Of course not.
He's a silent partner.
You're thinking of a knockoff, man.
He's a silent partner.
You're thinking of Travis Peters. That's not even a real person, but that sounds like a knockoff version of Tyler Perry, man.
Some Tyler Perry shit.
But I've read about I think it's like a handful of people that is in charge of Zeus Network, and they're fairly young. But they give me the same energy as Tubi.
Oh, they might be worse than Tubi. Tubi is like movies and people are acting.
We could put a movie out on Tubi.
Zeus is a bunch of niggas improv they shit.
Yeah, no script. There's no script. There's no table readings.
No.
There's no stage crew. There's
people with problems.
Yeah, no special effects. No effects at all. Sound effects from
I don't
beatboxing.
know because I've never seen. Like honestly, like You said Zeus. I'm like, the dude who throw lightning.
Yeah,
Like
I've heard of these shows. That's the only reason
I could see. I mean, I could see Zeus. I could see the real Zeus being pissed off. Like they using my name for this.
Put some respect on it. Yeah.
Send Hercules. Send Hercules to avenge my defamation. But
it was founded by social media personalities the Storm Power, Amanda Cerny, King Bach, and television producer Lemuel Plummer, who serves as president and CEO.
Does that say USA, my nigga?
Yeah, these are all the. I remember. I know. I know. Dead Storm
channel.
Yeah, that it's fall very far from grace.
Nigga, I almost shed a tear just now.
I remember the USA channel, and it actually had cartoons for kids and everything like that. But apparently, Zeus.
I don't see where you see USA at.
Yes, I saw the symbol right there.
Nah, that's Zeus. That's a US in a lightning bolt, bro. Don't throw them under the bus. Golly, this guy.
Bro, look at that shit. It looks like. Look at what I was showing. What I was looking at. Showing what I was looking at.
Yeah, that does look like the USA logo. Yeah, it kind of does.
That's what happens when you look at people stuff from peripheral. Nosy.
Turn your light down there.
In my opinion, it's a pretty awful network because I'm gonna just go there. It's a pretty awful network because it's terrible representation.
Based on what?
It's terrible representation of us. We always on so many platforms we talk about, or you hear black people talk about how we're being represented on the news and the only type of things that are being perpetuated out there. That network to me is only hyper focused on perpetuating the negative behavior, the negative stigmas of black people or black and brown people. So it's like when you finally have an opportunity. And it's just like the platforms. We've had this conversation, right? Just like certain social media platforms that perpetuate, the negative and the nonsense. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So
degrading.
To me, it's an awful network. You know what I mean? And that's just how I feel. So I am not looking forward to doing any business unless something changed dramatically.
Yeah,
but
this shit is crazy.
I think that
I'll take over as president.
He's finna change everything.
Make some changes.
He's finna make an abundance of changes. I think the conversation is crazy. The light skin, dark skin thing.
It's just like, I seen a lot of people upset and talking about colorists and all that, and I'm like, it's frustrating because when you think about all the way back to and I'm gonna go there, and you're a historian, back to the slave days, right? And you had the house Negro and you had the field Negro, right? And normally the house Negro was the light skin, and the field Negro was the dark, and that was a way that they looked to separate us and have us at each other,
exactly,
from a mental and emotional standpoint, right? And I mean, at the end of the day, we all are from the same place. We all are related in some shape, form. We're all the same race. So to categorize and bring, the hue as whether how light or dark it is into conversation and to put it against it, that's just, it's ignorant because you don't know any better. But like I said, I feel like he knows better. So that just deems it stupid. You're out here doing stupid things that don't make any sense. And then it is dangerous because you have people on the outside looking in, and now they're going to say, see, this is why we don't. It just doesn't make
someone
any
of his
sense.
caliber. And it's almost like, it's one of those things that's like, that's still funny. Like, when we were in school, we used to say an F word to refer to a certain community.
Right.
After a while, we all kind of realized that we had friends that were most likely from the community.
Right.
And we kind of felt uncomfortable even just saying that word. And then, I heard it one time, and in 2018, somebody said it, and I was like, we still saying that?
Yeah.
That just sounds like it's not even funny no more.
Well, I think
the
thing that makes it more controversial with him is when you look at the group of women that he's had children with. So the women that, just speaking on the women right now that are of the culture, and so for you to come out with such a thing like this, and then you look at the history of the women that he chose to have children with, he's already looking like the colorist description that a lot of women feel. You know what I'm saying?
That's like an inside joke thing if we even really doing that. That's like one of them things you do at the maybe even at the family party. I don't even like it.
I only think that you can get away with it when it's a comedian talking. because it's comedy and the way that they spin it. You know what I mean? And because there's terms,
right.
yeah, because there's funny terms for different shades, in the culture in a comedic way.
Right.
But when you start turning it into like a competition and like, in a promotion of some sort, then it turns into something else where it's like, bro,
that was corny.
Like, I don't even see how you could think that would be okay for entertainment purposes.
Yeah, what was the ultimate idea behind that? Like,
you know what I'm saying?
All right, we're gonna do the light skin versus dark skin to show who what.
Women from Wild 'N Out versus women from the Zeus Network or something like that.
That would have been fire.
No, but that's what they were trying to do. That's what it was starting. That's what it was based on.
That's fire. I could watch that.
Yeah, but not when they deem it light skin versus dark skin. Because light skin is Wild 'N Out and dark skin was Zeus.
Yeah.
So
and then there was also something else like BBMs versus Skinny Girls, which is another.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking?
Bro, I'm thinking
of the Bad Girls Club when you said like the Wild 'N Out shit. I'm thinking of.
Well, no, the Zeus Network has something called Baddies or something like that.
I would watch the Bad Girls Club and the Zeus shit just because they're all crazy motherfuckers and it's like crazy.
I'm not watching any reality.
I do know that Poe indulges in some of the ignorance, like World Star and
I barely even watched. I literally just watched.
I can't even say I do that because I don't.
I just watched a movie yesterday for the first time in like a couple months, and I don't really watch TV. You guys should definitely check it out. It's the one with Julia Roberts.
I thought you just watched
on Netflix, right? Netflix. It's the whole something that happened. Yeah, I seen the preview for it. I'm gonna check it out.
I ain't gonna lie. Two people watched it before me. They didn't like the ending. They were mad about the ending. I watched the movie. The ending, perfect ending.
Okay.
Perfect ending. That's how it was supposed to be.
So maybe we are.
It's a great
maybe we are too judgmental. Maybe there's a perfect ending to this battle between the light.
No, not for that. Not for that.
Nah, that was just.
I tried, Nick.
That was shenanigans.
Nah, it is. It is
stupid.
Light skin versus unnecessary. We over that.
It's disgusting, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It really is, and I do hope that.
Plus, because we know that
I just think that we. Like being a parent, you know what I'm saying? And, you're looking at your kids, you're looking at your cousins, their cousins, you're looking at godchildren, and they're all different shades. I mean, for me, it's like that. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm going to get defensive on either end. My goddaughter is chocolate, beautiful chocolate. My kids are extremely light. You know what I'm saying? So if I hear anything derogatory towards, you know what I mean? If I hear anything derogatory at any side, it's a problem for me.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Especially if they're the brunt of that joke or that comment.
For sure.
That's how I see it. So
agreed.
Should never even be a topic of conversation.
It shouldn't be.
But
at the same time, this is the problem with the people that are in position with being able to change the narrative. Nick Cannon is big enough to be able to produce better type of content and shows. He has enough money to do that. So
we've seen him do it.
Man, take care of your kids, bro.
Nigga, we seen you do it. Nigga, you over here hosting all these goddamn shows and shit.
Yeah. You doing stupid stuff like this, man? Go home.
Yeah, nigga.
One of them at least.
Nick, take your ass home, man. God damn.
Now, real talk, man. Real talk. Like. Hey, man.
No more babies from the Nick Cannon family. We need you to go home.
We need you to provide shows for these kids. You know what I'm saying? It's a positive shows. It's a positive
You think
narratives.
That would be the energy behind what he has going on since he has so many of the youth?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's his audience.
Directly impacts and to some extent influences.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you would think so. But
that's just me making sense.
But everybody can't go unscathed, man. I've been coming across some content, and it's not new content. Mm-hmm. It's never new content. It's never even a new conversation. But I do have a spin that I wanted to go with the conversation, and I wanted to ask you guys because I got my opinion. But do you believe that these women should be giving each other advice when it comes to us men, as far as in choosing them and choosing the right man and what signs you should look for in a man?
If you're not married, no.
I think
even then it's conditional.
Yeah.
They should be getting their advice from older women of the more recent generation.
I don't know about that.
I mean older women. When I say older women, I ain't talking
like
about
boomers.
I ain't talking about 60s. Nope.
Oh, you talking about the great generation,
because
or silent generation?
Those generation of women are dealing with a different type of man, right? So the experience that maybe the older women of this generation to be able.
What age group are these women?
I would say maybe 45.
Now what you mean? Those are ones out here tripping.
Yeah, but they
ain't Melyssa Ford around 45.
They gonna be able to give. They gonna be the
Jesus.
But the mature 45s are gonna be able to give the best advice to anyone.
You're better than this. Put your glasses back on, bro. Put
age group
better than this.
below.
I'm gonna just say no.
You can't ask a woman that's 50.
I kind of feel like the boomers, more the boomer generation is probably the better ones to ask, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because they've lived their life. They've lived the 30s. They've lived their 40s. They've lived their life.
This generation's life.
Yeah.
Every
right?
generation has different experiences, right? There's a different, like the men or the males. I'll say the males that are out here now are not the same ones that was rocking in the early 2000s versus the 90s versus the 80s versus the 70s. There's are different changes. There are different influences. There are different things that happen to where advice from a 40-year-old will not work for a 30-year-old or a 20-year-old because things have shifted, things have changed, certain things have evolved, certain things have devolved, right? So you ask a woman who came up traditionally, and she's going to give you traditional answers when tradition isn't really being exercised from either side anymore.
That's what I'm saying. 45,
and so 45. I almost feel like 45. The thing about it is like there's also an age that's in between that came up traditional, and then they have transition, but just because they transition don't mean that they're flourishing in their transition.
No, but their experience and the knowledge of the type of the more modern experiences, because it's a whole different world of type of the things and the stimulations.
But the timeline for that modern has shrunk.
So what you say? What age?
All right, so
look
at this. Think about it like this. From junior high to high school, you're a completely different person, right?
For sure.
That's a matter of what, 4 or 5 years? So how men adapt, change, maneuver, think, process changes every 5 to 6 years, depending on what it is that you're taking in. Same thing for women for the most part, correct? So then you say 45, unless you're talking to somebody that's like 40, y'all might even not really be able to relate.
The reason why it's challenging to me with the people that are in their mid 40s and up is because that would be our older siblings, right? That's Gen X. Gen X, that's the Uncle Luke. That's the Uncle Luke days.
Freak Nick,
all of that stuff. The youngsters of today are the products of those days right there, right?
Nah, hell no.
Yeah, they are.
You see, he said hell nah to that. He's
they the products.
No, they are.
They're the products of the generation.
All the 20-year-olds right now. That's their parents.
So 40 years ago.
The 40, yeah, that's their parents, right? Yeah. So we're 80s babies. We're the children, and even some of Gen X are the children of the baby boomers. Right? So the reason why I say a lot of the boomers is because that's their grandparents, but they also that's what I was saying earlier. They've lived their 20s, they lived their 30s, they lived their 40s. A lot of them have lived through their 50s. So they're able to tell you the feelings that they are going to possibly have repeating certain decisions and mistakes.
Let me figure out what is our question, because I think we may be coming from different perspectives based on what we think
should women take advice? Should women take advice from women?
About us, about men,
and I say no.
Oh, okay. Yes.
I would say this.
I would say yes.
Not advice, but
now, because where you going?
I would never say advice, but I would say not advice, but inquire about experiences to gain a certain understanding. To see where it was to where it is now, to possibility, so you get a better understanding of the possibilities in the range, right? So not so much advice, because somebody in their 40s can't tell a 20-year-old how to deal with these Negroes out here. You see what I'm saying? Now I can tell you what I have experienced in my 40 years of life and the type of men that I have come across. So depending on who you're dealing with and the age group you're dealing with, this is what you have a chance to and you know what I'm saying, come across.
Yeah.
So
I can agree with that for sure.
Getting experience, I mean, getting the understanding by asking about their experiences and what they've been through and what they, and that, I think that's really what it's all about. Because if you're inquiring about somebody's experiences, it's going to be more tailored to them. So then you're not going to expect that to be for everybody.
Your full spectrum.
You see what I'm saying? That's not a full, that's specific. And if you inquire with enough older women to gain a lot of different experiences, that gives you a better range of knowledge to have a deeper understanding of not only what you might encounter, but also what it is that you want and what you are possibly looking for. Right now, you got women taking advice from other women, and most of these women are single, and they've been hurt, they've been burnt, they have been treated badly, right? So then you got the blind out here leading the blind, and they all walking off cliffs.
I think that.
But what if this is the cliffs that the little goats, you know how they you know how the little goats that be on the cliffs,
but they women, they're not goats. So it's not working.
Wow for that. I think that I agree with you. I think they should inquire about certain things, but I think that when it comes to the conversation about us men, if you're trying to gain understanding of men, you need to talk to men. But if you need to get wisdom in how to conduct yourself to attract the type of man that you want, maybe you should talk to those women that have those type of men.
Yeah. So what's the thing about it? Like, you gotta be inquiring, you gotta be talking to, you gotta be looking for experience from women who are actually in positions you want to be in.
What if that's not the final answer though? Right? Like, I get what y'all. I agree. There should be women seeking advice from women who are most likely in the positions that they
not just a position, but dealing with the type of man you're looking for.
Right. But are we saying that the woman whom they are seeking advice from, should be in a current or successful relationship? Or I believe that maybe there should be some advice from those who are maybe not in a current relationship on both ends, maybe a male and a female, and then perhaps advice from those who are in a relationship, a long-lasting relationship.
But that's still seeking knowledge to gain an understanding.
But a little different perspective on those.
You should always be looking from different perspectives and different, you know what I'm saying?
Because just someone who doesn't have a partner doesn't mean that they don't have are not.
Nah, y'all don't know.
Listen, bro. I even have a response to that. If you're going to get advice from any type of advisory from somebody that does not have a partner about gaining a partner, it needs to be somebody that fumbled it. Yeah. Somebody that has accountability from fumble it, because they're going to give you the advice and they're going to tell you what not to do so you don't end up in their position. That's why
someone who's not totally jaded.
Yeah. You want to know what's crazy, man? We're having this conversation, and I'm thinking, like, there's so many women that I've dealt with in the past that things didn't go the route that they wanted them to because they failed to seek understanding. They didn't communicate. They didn't ask those deep questions. They didn't look to really get an understanding of who I was, where I was coming from, what it is I wanted, or what I was looking for.
Right.
They assume, by talking to their homegirls, friends, and they assume that this is what, and so they chose to execute a certain way without actually talking to the man that they're dealing with to gain an understanding. Like, because you said you should talk to the person that you want to deal with to make sure that you guys are on the same page. A lot of women make assumptions because they're getting time. They think that it's going to lead to something when a lot of dudes are just out here just rocking.
Yep.
So if you're not having those necessary conversations to get an understanding of who the male is that you're dealing with, to see where it can possibly go from here, and then having an understanding of where it can possibly go, gain experience from somebody older than you that has possibly been through those things to see how you should conduct, carry yourself, and execute moving forward, then what do you expect?
Exactly. That's why the question was brought, because I see a lot of videos online with some of these young modern women, and they're giving this advice and saying, if he doesn't do this, if he doesn't do that, it's a red flag, or this is a red flag. And I just don't think that's the greatest advice, because number one, there's so many different types of women today as far as in what they're interested in, what they require, what they're satisfied with, right? And I just think that when you say something so general, like if he doesn't do this for your birthday, or if he doesn't buy you this, or if he's in this situation or that, like especially if they're in their 20s. Because I'll just go there for a minute. When I see young women in their 20s talk about what type of man somebody should be, I can tell they didn't do any research about men, period. Because if it's about finances, about being with a man because of what type of finances or career that he has, I'm not going to say we all know, but men don't reach their financial peak until about 40. That's when they start really bringing in the money. That's when they really establish whatever business or career. That's the standard starting point. You know what I'm saying? And then from that point on, their financial
20 more years.
Yeah. So when you're like, so when I see a 24-year-old or a 20 or a 28-year-old young lady or woman talking about, he needs to make at least 6 figures and this, that, and the other, I'm just like,
when did he have time to do that?
Well, the thing about it that's crazy is like, on the flip side of that, what about their position from a financial standpoint? What about their position mentally and emotionally? Like, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you really don't even have an understanding of who you are, what you want, or until you're in your late 20s to early 30s. And that's give or take.
Well, here's the other question. Are you even ready for what you're asking for? There's a lot of people that are not ready for what they're asking for. So it shows up. You've been begging for it. It shows up now because you haven't built any type of discipline, understanding. You don't even know how to maintain the very thing that you've been desiring. And that's how you end up losing
no depth.
Okay.
Just right? Right?
Yeah.
You have no substance.
Right.
The thing that's crazy to me is like in this day and age, and you know what I'm saying, it seems to be more in the younger than the older. But it's all this, I'm a prize, I'm a catch, whoop whoop whoop, and it's based on looks and body type, right? And at the end of the day, again, you have no depth, you have no substance. But on the flip side of that, so men aren't a catch either. They're not. You get what I'm saying? Like it goes both ways.
The weird thing is the requirements that a lot of these women have for men are obviously deeming that man a catch, as far as in like you need to be able to protect, you need to be able to provide, and this, that, and the third. Well, if everybody can't do that, then that means that the group of men that can do it are a very unique group of individuals, right?
ISO on me, camera on me.
Yeah.
Check it out. Look, if your bathroom keep having them Q-tips and that toilet paper behind them, and it's that little brown and pink shit in the corner of your shower, like you can't really talk to me about all these other type of things that you requested. You feel me?
If your bathroom is not clean,
that's just the
if your bathroom is not clean right after you get ready to go out.
You got a bunch of them frozen meals in your freezer. You not even cooking dinner. You microwaving. Mike got an air fryer. Your air fryer ain't even clean. You don't clean the inside of the air fryer.
Not the air fryer. Who just got those?
So I'm just trying to figure out what we talking about.
Nah, I mean like this. So this the whole thing about it is crazy because like
of the yesteryear,
in a sense, a lot of females want a traditional man.
Yeah. But
they don't possess those traditional traits that will help to attract and keep type of men that they want, right? And so the whole thing is like, if you have a modern day attitude and approach to things, you really can't expect anything more than a modern day man. And even in that instance, the way that women talk about modern day males now, y'all don't want them.
Y'all don't want the modern day.
But the whole thing, the way, because you got to understand something like it goes both ways, because the way women have operated, they have created the type of males that are out here, and the way that the males are operating, they've created the type of women that are out here, right? And like I said, like, you want to sit here and say, I'm the prize, but you don't want to acknowledge him as a prize, but you want him to jump over hurdles and go through the fire for you, but you won't do the same for him. And then on top of that,
what he doing?
Everybody wants to be reserved and nobody wants to be exposed or put their feelings out there to actually build and grow something. And then on the flip side, I ain't going to build and grow nothing. He got to come into the picture ready to go. And he has to, it's just like all these stipulations
and there's a lot of
these
modern
expectations
men who are on bullshit
out of the gate. 100%. That's what I'm saying. Like, women have created this atmosphere. The males have created this atmosphere that are out here right now because everybody wants to be a player or reserved or have a high level of expectations.
Player culture is at an all-time high between both sides.
Or have all these stipulations. And that's what I'm saying. Nobody really wants to invest in anybody else unless they already have it going on. And the thing about it, most of those who already have it going on prefer to be players or they have somebody.
So ain't no building of we're not coming into this joining in a relationship.
Nah, there's not
building together.
But see, that's what makes the strongest relationships, right? Is both of you being vulnerable and open and communicating and looking to build and work through things. That's how you gain trust, stability, and strengthen a relationship to form a bond that you can build on and grow and have all of the things that you say that you want. But if you're not willing to put forth that effort, that time, that energy from an emotional, mental standpoint, right? If you're not willing to be vulnerable, then how can you expect to acquire any of that?
You preaching right now.
I mean,
today's Sunday?
Yeah. I think that
pastors played around.
The reason why I got you.
Oh, offerings.
I think that what you said earlier about getting and gaining understanding of, who you are dealing with is so important because there's so many steps that I think are not even acknowledged that are skipped with the courting and the dating part of the situations. Now, I will say that I empathize with today because we come from a time where we had to go ask for the number. Or we seen somebody in person and we knew that person that knew that girl. So hey, set it up right now. Well, versus the swipe left, swipe right, slide in DMs. And then, with a lot of guys that do have something to offer, the fear of getting screenshot and put on social media because you shot your shot at somebody instead of them just saying no or whatever the case is. But when you're looking for somebody, there's so many steps that I think of that are being missed. Like you're not sitting down and having a conversation. You're just stating your list of demands. You're not wondering who that man has looked up to their whole life and who they've aspired to be, because none of that matters to you. Just like you said, you're lacking depth. The only thing you're caring about is being taken care of on a materialistic or monetary level, right?
No, that was a great point.
You see what I'm saying? So then when you get in that position and you find out that the dude is a scumbag, the dude does not value commitment, terrible father, now you want to go to the public platforms and try to force him to be a better person by destroying his character and hoping that the people that are destroying his character put some sense into him. But that's just going to piss him off even more and do more. You know what I'm saying? Because we see it all the time. So if I said this before, if you want a certain type of person, you can't have it one way. You can't be like, well, I need somebody that can write poetry and can fight and lift weights and is 6'5" and can always tell me what I'm thinking and pays for everything. Because here's the thing, when it comes to when we talk about traditional men, well, when you talk about that time period, they had one car usually. Most families had one car. There was no G-Wagons. There was no trips to different countries and getting flued out. They had one car.
And the traditional man came from the generation before us because most of the traditional men were taken away from our family structures.
Right.
Coming up in the 70s.
And what kind of jobs did those traditional men work? Fellas?
Man,
they was making license plates,
warehouses,
they was
like it was a lot of manual labor.
So they weren't like CEOs and $1 million making athletes and tech developers and
even though that percentage is very small. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I remember I was watching something. He was like, "So you're saying you want a man that is at least 6'3" and does and make this?" It said, "Well, the percentage of men who actually fall into that category, I want to say it might have been 15% or lower."
That's the entertainment era.
And then he was like, and then when you zero in on race, the percentages drop drastically.
Yeah, it
and
does.
so it's just like, he's like, so if all of the women out here want this specific type of male and there's only so many of them,
then they're all
then you
delusional.
must be prepared to share.
Yeah,
because anybody who falls into that category, guess what else they have?
money.
options.
Man,
options is the thing.
Not unlimited almost because
all of you guys want him. The 3% of men that are available in that category, 75% of you guys want that guy. I'm just naming numbers, but pretty much that's kind of like what the ratio is. Is like there's a small amount of those men who will meet those standards.
75 women want 10 guys.
Women who want that guy. There's only a couple of
and we want and they want those 10 guys to be committed and loyal.
And is it their is it
no
their fault?
Yes.
or substance? Well, see, this is
we got to take some accountability.
No,
for
we
that.
don't. Social media. It's all social media.
We wrote the Disney movies.
No, we didn't. Walt Disney is not Afro-American. So, no. It's a lot of social media that has created this I can't think of the word right now.
I know what you're saying. Social media,
Climate
and movies and entertainment, I believe as well.
I mean, to an extent,
I don't know, bro, because the stuff that we watched when we were coming up was very believable. Family Matters was a very believable situation. Fresh Prince, not so much, but the problems, the Jeffersons.
Let's talk. How many of those movies did we get our game from?
A lot of them.
A lot of the way in which we thought we were supposed to approach women, and the way in which we thought that the cool, good guy, nice guy was supposed to, and we learned the lesson that the cool guy, nice guy doesn't really get them.
I just kept watching Scarface and How to Be a Player. I don't know
40. Shout out to the 40th anniversary of Scarface. I think it's 40-year anniversary. Yo, is it the 40th? 30 something.
Willie Dynamite, The Mac. Those were my type of movies. I'm sorry.
My man was turning into a mad scientist.
My nigga had all the books that the prison niggas get that, like when they order from the library, then they come out. He got all the good.
My guy got a brand new copy. My guy buys a brand new copy of Iceberg Slim every year.
Definitely fire book. Definitely. But no,
first edition
I think we have some accountability in that because we wrote we created.
We didn't write anything. So we were children.
Men control the industries and shit.
No,
not these men.
The reason why we can't give any room to say that there's accountability on the man's perspective in how we see things, because it has nothing to do with what they desire. What they desire, we didn't put there. We did not put that there. Because when you hear all of the demands as far as in what traditional men can offer, there's men like that right now, and they don't want those men. There are men that go to work every day that don't make $100,000, probably don't have a lot of debt, knows how to save money, knows how to fix things, but he might not be 6'3". He might not drive, the latest car or wear the latest fashion.
There might be a lot of men who make $100,000, but because it's not glamorous.
Yeah.
So the NBA has to make a height limit. Is that what we're saying?
Shout out to Muggsy Bogues.
I'm saying there has to be a height limit because if these tall ass niggas they're not gonna get shorter.
Yo, the problem. Did you see the my boy Huss sent me a article. I think Aaron Gordon said that the last date he went on, the girl had the last thing she searched on her phone, I guess when they were on the date, is how much he made.
Well, she got. Let's talk about it.
So
does that make sense though?
No.
That's how much he makes. You ain't got access to none of that.
Now let me ask a question. If she's looking for someone who meets certain qualifications based on whatever her personal qualifications would be for the man that she wants, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she meets a guy who's okay with meeting those qualifications. Is there anything wrong with that?
Yes.
Why do you have? I don't.
No, I'm saying because there's guys out there who are willing to what we would call
we call simping.
We call tricking in Northern California.
Yeah.
We call that tricking, right? A lot of the activities and the things that guys would be willing to do. But there are some men who are willing to meet the standards that some of these women are kind of like requiring.
No, they're willing to pay for that companionship because somewhere in their life, they didn't feel like they could get that type of girl. And now that they have enough money, they can just go buy it. They can go buy her.
That's how we think on the West Coast. If you are paying for it, you couldn't get it out of your own just abilities as far as like whatever qualifications you have personally, right? But there's some guys who got
I heard something. It was like, because I seen something. Of course, social media. There was this old dude, and he was like, "I pay for it. I have money, and I like to get what I want, so I will pay for it.
Convenience."
And that's fine. That's cool if you're willing to pay for it. But the thing about it is, most men aren't willing to pay for it because why am I paying for it? And the thing about it, at that rate, it becomes transactional, and she's a prostitute. I don't care how you look at it, because at that point, you're not paying for anything more than the sex, because companionship, an actual relationship with meaning, with depth, with substance, somebody you can build with, grow with, trust, with some of your darkest secrets, and just you in general as a person, that's not. There's no price for that. Bro,
what I'm learning,
there's no price for that.
What I'm learning is that obviously for men, at the core of being a man, that definitely is true. But what I'm like learning from just hearing different perspectives is that a lot of men culturally in the South and in the East Coast, that's not frowned upon. That's
of fine. But if I'm paying for it, can I really deem it to be authentic?
That's how we think. I can't get outside of that thought process. I can't remove myself.
How authentic is it if I have to pay for it?
So
because if the money's gone, then she's gone, right?
Yeah.
But if my money, if I'm a person who's making the money, right, and I got some way of making money, and she has her requirements, I can match those qualifications.
I could tell you the discrepancy. I know exactly what you're saying, and you're right. Like the way, the time that we come from, right? We're not just cut from a different cloth. We're made in the same factory, but we are different cloth material. But what you have to
understand, 85 J1s in the 2001s.
What you have to understand is that is many guys that are saying this. These are guys that are also probably saying this that are not in that percentile, but it sounds good because when we look at the statistics, right? When I see guys, because there's a lot of guys that got podcasts that are online that are like, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? If you're not handling your business and you're not doing this and you're not doing that and you're not paying for all of that, then you this type of we see those guys, right? But it's not even that they're simping, they're lying because you're trying to tell me that you are in, for black men, we're less than 1% of the wealth in this country. So you're in that percentage, right? And you got time to podcast? No, dog. You don't have. Listen.
Let me make sure I'm understanding what we're saying. Like,
what I'm saying is that the guys that you're talking about that are trying to say this, even those guys don't got it like that. That's what I'm saying. Even they don't have it like that. Just based off the statistics, they don't have it like that. They know what they're doing. That is their game. You know how we had game when we were young? We knew how to talk to a lady. We knew how to smooth talk her and stuff like that. That's game. That's basically you're the bug poison to make all the bugs come to you, right? So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna put a like on that, and I'm gonna put a comment on that, and I'm gonna share with my homegirls, and this, that, and the other, because you're not in those percentiles either. There's no way statistically you're there. So now that we got that out the way, right, about all the guys that do agree with that, when we talk about the men that have the money to do that, they usually don't even want the girls that think
for sure
that they're gonna obtain that.
Definitely agree.
You see what I'm saying?
Definitely agree. You're not even qualified for that guy that you are thinking that you have the
exactly
based on what you want and what he wants. You still don't meet his qualifications.
Your paths will never cross.
Yeah.
No, at all. That's why they show up to the drafts. That's why they watch the drafts and try to follow these athletes after they get on a team, because you can't even get in those spaces. Social media has allowed you to gain access, but you're still not getting in those spaces. So when you have a list of things, and here's the other thing that I wanted to say, when you were talking about the guys that don't have a problem with it, right? We were just talking about money. They also want you to be committed. You know what I'm saying? We got to share the duties, parenting. If we're going to have children, we need to take trips. I like to go places. You think that these dudes gain this wealth by taking trips? They're working 60, 70 hours a week because they're either CEOs, they run their businesses, or they just have such a high responsibility at the company that they work for that they're not even going to be available. They're never going to be home.
What about your man, Joe Smith?
Well, no. Yeah, I'm gonna just leave it there. Well, no, because
right.
The reason why I say no is because it's too easy. That's the results. That's what happens when you think that you can just. I'll just pay for that. I just money got it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to worry about the morals. I ain't got to worry about the background. The money got it. But just like Jelani said, guess what happens when the money's gone?
They dry up.
She over there giving Cameron and them massages on the it is what it is podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Dead wrong.
So that it's just a flat out no, man. But I don't think I think that when these women are watching the content that's being put out and being consumed by so many people, you gotta ask questions. If it's a woman over here telling you what you should do about a man, you should ask yourself, where is her man at, and why is he not sitting next to her while she's naming these things? And then if you're going to talk to a person that is not in a relationship, it should be coming from a humble position of like, hey, I've had good ones, I've had bad ones. I wish I had invested the energy in the good ones like I did with the bad ones. If those single people aren't talking to you like that, they trying to keep you where they're at.
And not only just that, depending on who you're talking to matters a lot, because depending on their background will determine the type of experience and access they've had to people and things. And that will also, because like there was this female and she was talking about, in all of the White Houses I've been to for nannying, and so you've been a nanny at all of these different houses for these white people. So that means that they are coming from a place of money, right? Right? They come from a certain social level to where they can afford and be in those positions. So they're going to operate differently than a medium income family, or right? So then already your experiences are slanted. They're off. They're not. There's no wide range. It's coming. It's one dimensional. You see what I'm saying? So already you start off like that. It's just like, well,
and she was black, wasn't she?
Oh yeah,
she was a black chick. So this is the story. There was a black chick that said that she's been a nanny for a lot of different homes, and she said every time she would go to the white home, she would notice on the refrigerator that there was wedding invitations and get-togethers and stuff like that. And so her advice, as far as in when she sees where women need to be dating, where black women need to be dating, they need to be dating in that dating pool instead of the black. Because when she goes to the black homes, she don't see things like that. They're not doing things like that.
Putting shit on the refrigerator?
Yeah, basically.
You know how much shit is on the refrigerator? My mama used to put a post-it note on the refrigerator that tell me what the fuck I needed to do the whole day.
No, it's just like
she's basically
her experiences, and it seems like it was
anecdotal experiences.
I asked Greta how many post-its she put on the refrigerator.
And it seemed like it was like leaning more towards the white versus black, because she didn't really have too many experiences from the black. She started saying my friends and girls that I know that are, but it's just like date outside your race, because if you want to get married, and it was just like, I mean, but you don't really have any
experience,
validity, credibility. You don't really you have no experience. You like 10 years of like, but the people you have access to, the people you're dealing with, the experience that you had are not.
It's not a full common spectrum. Yeah, but you just have your own experience doesn't validate your perspective on the majority.
But even worse, right? When I hear a lot of stories from the women that I've communicated with, that I've either just been friends with or that, I just have known for a long time, what I notice what a lot of problems are with a lot of women? They'll tell you about all of the experiences that they've had dating, right? But I've noticed it's like, it seems like you're dating the same person over and over again. So instead of saying like, oh, you got to go to a different race, just like the whole thing with the passport, bruh, because that's one thing that I can't say that a lot of guys do too. You can't keep dating the same person over and over again. It's just a different costume, and then be like, the problem is these niggas out here. The problem is these females out here. Because it's like, no, you're dating the same person.
Yeah, I don't like when men say that either. It's like, these females out here. It's like,
you're dating the same ones.
Oh, bro, and she was mid.
Make sure I mean, I done seen the same. I just like, I might forget the name, but you look the same.
I mean, there's a difference between like, most men do this, most women do that, right? But if you're gonna date the same person over and over again and then blame the group, that the problem ain't the group, the problem is you.
Yeah, because I've dated a lot of different type of women among the same race.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that actually exists. But in today's climate, it's the whole group.
Yeah.
It's the whole group. There's about 300 million people over here, right?
In America.
In America. And then as far as the black people, it's about a little over 40 million. So you just know that all 40 million thinks and acts the same way. And if we do, where you finna find this millionaire that's about 6'5" at?
In a different race.
I'm just saying.
A different race, let her tell it.
That actually is attractive.
It's not even that. She wasn't even talking about from a financial standpoint or anything of that nature. She was just talking about if you want to get married, you gotta date outside your race because and then she's like she
was talking to just black women?
Yeah, any black women that I know that are actually married, they are married to, or when I'm at church and I see a married black woman, she's standing next to a white or somebody who isn't black.
She's lying. She's lying.
She's lying heavy.
Take notice to the fact that there are less black women in white male relationships than there are black male with other ethnicities. Black men are more desired than black women for a number of different reasons. And I always end up finding myself like, damn, like when I see a black woman with someone outside of the race, it's not weird to me. I just am always very observant of it, and I'm not like disapproving or anything. I just like, I notice myself staring a lot more, and I try not to because I'm just like, oh, that's not as often as I see it.
Right.
Didn't I send you something a while back? I think I sent it to you, and there was this this black woman reporter, and she was talking about how a lot of women are prioritizing careers and going to school and getting degrees over marriage, and then finding themselves with degrees and not men because they haven't put forth the same energy into building relationships and finding somebody as they did as a career and getting that degree. And now and so she was saying that the value for men is up as they get older, while the value for women drops as they get older. That by the time you're ready for a relationship, it's too late because you spent all of this time building up a career, finding a degree, and doing all of these things. And now that you're older, your value has dropped. Right?
Yep.
I sent that to you, didn't I?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are you saying to tell them that it might be more beneficial to play the game of knowing that men typically are in control, and not saying that that's how it should be, but being that you might need to find a partner rather than doing the things yourself.
Well, and I would say it's important to prioritize both, right? Like you need to have a certain level of focus on developing yourself and finding somebody as you do as developing a career and growing in that, right? You can't be in a sense one dimensional or like hyper focused on this, and then after you get to this point, expect to be able to find something over here when you've invested no time or energy in that area, right? You have to be focused on both because both of them hold weight, both of them are valuable, and the crazy thing about it, you having a solid relationship and foundation will actually help to further your career.
If you find somebody who's supportive even more.
That's what you should be looking for in the first place.
There was a guy once upon a time that made all of these points.
Who you talking about?
R.I.P. to the guy.
And his name was Kevin Samuels.
Oh man. So
here's the thing. When people speak of Kevin Samuels, they always attach his name and his brand to high value men. Every time, and just as for the record, every time you hear somebody say that, understand that they did not watch that man's content. His whole bottom line was trying to get women to understand to date in your realm, because that is something that men understand before they even became a man. Right?
Oh, 100%.
A man will build himself up to get the woman that he wants.
Bro, I swear.
Even if that's not who he is, he will fucking go out and nigga order a tuxedo. Nigga do all kind of shit.
I think it was Dave Chappelle. He's like, men get all these type of accomplishments and things for women. They don't do it for themselves. He said, if a man could fuck a woman in the box, he wouldn't buy a house.
Yeah, that's literally. That's true.
Because males at the core are extremely simple.
Thank you.
Sure.
Extremely simple. We're not complex. It only seems that way because you don't take the time to understand the men that you are dealing with. You make assumptions. You go off of facial expressions,
overcomplicate
energy
things
instead of actually 100%. So we're simple. We're not worried about all the extras, right? Once you start worrying about all the extras and focus in and communicate, everything be good.
Yeah. And that's what that guy explained. That's why I laugh, because when I would watch this guy have conversations with women, I'd never seen him lose a debate.
Yeah, they were always totally confused.
Because he would ask a question, and number one, he would never get the answer. And they would always, a lot of them would start with, I feel. And what it is that, like I said, I wanted to say this, is the man's bottom line is if you want a high value man, understand you are in line with 1,000 other women that want those 100 men.
And they look better than you, and they may have better qualifications.
Right. So now when you're in that line, you got to understand that man, those group of men, they don't care about certain qualities that you think he should care about.
They don't care about what job you have. They don't care about how much money you have. They don't care about any of your accomplishments whatsoever.
It's all about the type of atmosphere you can create for them, the type of comfort and peace that you can bring them. How can you make their life easier or simpler outside of everything they have to deal with the world and their jobs? What traits, qualities do you bring to the table that aren't cosmetic? That's why I said you have no depth, no substance, because that's what matters. You see a man that you would like to have, and you're like, why is he with her? Because she has the traits and qualities that he needs to make things easier, simpler, more comforting, bring him peace, make him comfortable.
Yep.
Simple.
So I think what we're saying is be careful who you get your advice from.
Well, and then have an understanding of how to acquire the things that you want.
Because it's a lot of you can log on to any one of your pages and you'll see how many angry women are on in the comment section, no matter who it is. Name a celebrity and name controversy, and there's at least 100 women that can't stand that person and never met that person before. They're only reading words and journalism and posts and opinions. You see what I'm saying? So you need to be careful of who's giving you information and how they're trying to mold you into something that you might not even want to be. That's just my take on it. But before we get out of here, a little bit of news, and I feel like you're gonna know, but the whole controversy with Travis Scott and John
This is y'all gotta fill me in, because this is
scripted.
That's what I wanted to know. That's what I wanted to know. I wanted to know if it was.
When have you ever seen or heard of any Nike conferences getting exposed or leaked or anything of that type of?
So
you
never
story?
have,
What's
right?
The story?
They were the story. The stage story was they were on a Zoom call and Travis, I was about to call him A$AP Rocky, and Travis Scott and John McEnroe were debating.
John McEnroe.
Yeah, they were debating about a shoe. And I guess I don't want to say the popularity, but the name, and it
don't even sound like they were debating.
Yeah.
John was yelling, and Travis seemed like he was trying to get an understanding.
Yeah,
Travis didn't even raise his voice. He was just like, "I never heard of. This is the first time it's been brought to my attention," and it all seemed more of a marketing play. The crazy thing I want to know is like,
what it is. John McEnroe is known for going off.
When did it come out? Right.
Yeah.
When was it exposed? When was it leaked? Because the thing about it is the shoe's already dropped.
Right.
And so then it's almost like, is that to try to create some type of hysteria or following,
Are
or
they doing the
get the
colorway
brand to
some
be
shit or
trend or
something?
something?
Like,
Because
what
it just
is it?
doesn't make sense. Because like I said, when have you ever heard of any type of Nike marketing meeting conference
Being
Zoom
leaked
call?
on a live. That's why I feel like, man, this
You know how
can't be
many
real.
shoes Nike
You've never heard or seen that before. That
And
has
for
never
this
come
shoe,
out.
if it was to come out with a shoe, if it was to come out, it would be for a different
It's
shoe.
to help to drive popularity because the shoe isn't doing numbers. Unless you're an older collector, enthusiast, sneakerhead, whatever you call yourself, unless you're from an older that you remember the original release and John McEnroe and how much of a big deal that was and the mag attack and all that. And if you're not familiar with any of that, you don't really care about these shoes. It'd be 100%. Nike has gone a nostalgic route as of late, and that's because the older generation is in a financial position and has the nostalgia tied to it
You have the
to
treasures.
actually want to go back and
they're the ones in the company
they're-
making the shoes.
from an emotional standpoint, right? It brings back memories of when you had it or when you wanted it. Remember when it came out and seeing people with it. And now that I'm in a position financially, I'm gonna go get that. So
That's
I'm gonna
half my
get-
collection.
right?
That's half my collection.
But this newer generation, they don't care about any of that unless it's a collab or it's popularized. So then you take an old shoe and you put the old with the new, trying to catch the older generation and the younger generation on this shoe and collab with it. And then you do this as some sort of marketing ploy or to drive the numbers or bring attention to it, especially around the holiday season. Like, it doesn't seem authentic. It doesn't seem real.
The reason why I thought this was an interesting conversation was because I feel like I believe we're in a time where we can't get a lot of good marketing done without some controversy because of the lack of creativity.
Yeah, because the commercials, remember Bud?
Yeah.
Wise?
Yeah. That had us in school doing it.
Yeah.
Not
I
even
want
just-
my baby back, baby
not
back,
even
baby
just
back.
that,
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. There's
Have
no
those kind of
there's no
commercials.
creativity behind, because these commercials were a hook to bring you into what the product was about.
Bob had a baby. It's a boy.
Yeah.
Like,
There's none of that.
There was creativity.
And the
It was
crazy
funny.
thing is you have hundreds of creatives online and you still lack creativity in the content to hook people in to get your product. Now, maybe that's difficult because maybe some of these creatives have outrageous prices and demands, but
they're not getting paid.
But you know what I'm saying is when I seen that, I was just like, damn, like this is like we can name hundreds of commercials that we've probably only seen maybe 3 to 5 times in our childhood and our teenage years because of the creativity or how catchy it was. And it's like now it's just like, all right.
Comedy factor.
Okay,
Yeah.
so maybe there's a transition that's happening.
Oh, it happened.
Well, there definitely is a transition that's happening, but I just don't know how exponential it is.
Even he's allergic to the bullshit. Bless you, brother.
Thank you.
Go ahead, man.
I've been following a few guys on YouTube, and there's this young dude from Atlanta, and he does like thrifting, right? And for his page, like he just has a vlogging camera, but the way in which he does his filming is pretty much regular. He's just filming himself, but the cinematography behind it. And he has a clothing brand. He has like a varsity jacket he made.
Okay.
And the creativity behind the marketing are like what you would consider maybe a commercial for that jacket is very creative and dope. And what I'm thinking is probably there's a transition to what would be normal way of marketing things. So it's not like you're going and getting a traditional or maybe even a marketing company or any of that. It's like people who are creating themselves, like especially on Instagram. A lot of the companies that I'm buying clothes from on Instagram on the algorithm, it's the quality and stuff of the clothes, but a lot of it is like the way in which they are marketing themselves, the photography and even just the videos and stuff.
They're putting effort into the art.
They're more intentional, and it's more creative and artistic. It doesn't have to be wild and out there and like very different, if you per se. But there's definitely an intentional aspect behind some of the stuff that I've been seeing. So I think it's like maybe just a transition from the type of media. So TV and what we would say like cable television and stuff like that. It's no more. We aren't.
Well, we're just not seeing it on TV, but ads are still being ran everywhere.
Yeah,
right?
there's ads, but I'm just
But
like
the
the
thing
person
is,
is creating their own kind of
a lot of
marketing.
these companies and businesses have gotten away from some things, and now they're getting into the understanding that it's really about branding.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of companies moving forward, I read an article about companies investing more into the branding aspect of the marketing in 2024 because that's what really holds.
Yeah.
That's what holds weight. That's what drives. That's what gains the focus and the attention. Like just out here just doing all type of stuff, it doesn't really hold weight if it isn't tied to the branding and it doesn't really stick out, if it doesn't hit.
You don't need a lot of money to do.
You understand
you
what I'm
don't need a
saying?
crazy amount
Like,
of
I
money.
mean, like,
Yeah.
let's think about some of the brands out there that are on a higher level of luxury. How many commercials do you see for Ferrari and Porsche?
Never see a commercial for Ferrari.
You be seeing
or Porsche.
Gucci and Louis Vuitton commercials?
Never see a commercial.
Nope.
No, because they have already established themselves from a branding standpoint, and they maintain.
I
that
barely see
on a
Costco commercials.
consistent. I see them, but you know what I'm saying. What I'm saying though is like you brand yourself a certain way, you market yourself according to how you want to be branded, and you stay in that lane, and you continue to execute at a certain level. A lot of companies have gone away from that just due to the fact of social media and influence and things of that nature. It's like, bro, influencer marketing has come and gone because everybody wants to be an influencer. Like that.
Yeah, who's going to be the consumer?
The quality of those companies, though, is that they still do some level of marketing. There's just difference. There's a lookbook. There's the different fashion shows.
But those
the
things,
quality behind
those
that.
things are catered to their
target demographic.
target demographic,
Yeah.
members, their subscribers, those who actually, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's who it's geared towards.
Remember, you could see, you could look at a magazine and you would see a company, like maybe it's a perfume company, maybe it's a clothing company, a high-end clothing company, but just the visual of that, and how they photographed maybe even them wearing the clothing in a different, like a lifestyle kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think that still is very present in the way in which we people are marketing their companies, and I think that part is going to be even more prevalent. Like the lifestyle thing is like, if you can make it to look like it's part of some lifestyle, and you can incorporate that into the marketing, and it's not just like regular commercials or things. I think that's what I'm finding more that's pulling me to a company. Like if I see that they have like some creative photography or whatever, it's not even creative, maybe it's like looks vintage or something like that, then I kind of find like some more interest in it rather than it just being, regular shit. I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is that there's a way in which companies or brands can market themselves without being like more of the cliche.
I just think that a lot of companies that were titans are now getting really desperate.
And it depends on what kind of companies we're talking about.
Yeah, I do think a lot of them are getting desperate. And I just think that, where we're at, the reason why that's happening is because, like, you said earlier, Jelani, there's a lot of people are holding on to their money now. So now, because people are holding on to their money and they're not just being enticed by whatever things that you're putting in their face, you're really going to have to say, all right, how can I get this person who's holding on to that dollar for dear life to let it go? And so now they're just throwing everything and the book at the consumer because they're desperate. You know what I'm saying? It's just like he was telling me about Nike. Nike was going crazy. They got this deal and that deal, like on the last episode. It was a deal like every day.
Yeah, just different. Like, it's almost like sales were overlapping. You know what I'm saying? It was because it's fourth quarter, right? So then you get, fourth quarter is sales, and then it's, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas season.
Tuesday. They got a Tuesday now.
You know what I'm saying? Like I started playing around like they did a West Coast Wednesday. Like, they're trying so many ways to get sales and to drive you to the site to look at what they have, because they've, in a sense, flooded the market, and they put so much out here without receiving all of that back because times have shifted.
Oh, yeah.
And sneakers aren't a priority like that.
No, they're not.
They're really, especially with the lack of quality and the outlandish colorways that have been released as of late. And then it's like, when I was looking, I'm like, why are y'all releasing white and light colored shoes in the midst of fall and winter?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Not only that, but like
Y'all
I think
out of season.
now people are like, what do I need this for? Like for the first time, I think a lot of people are like, what do I need this for? What do I have to buy this for? I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. And now money,
practicality.
yeah,
man.
it's
important.
It's very important. Just as important it is for us to get up out of here.
Just maintain your kicks. Bring them to me. I got you.
Yeah. Get your shit cleaned up, man.
Yeah, man. We shall retire. Until next week.
We shall retire from.
Anyways,
henceforth,
you know what to do. Like, subscribe, follow us. Let us know what you think in the comments. I'm always down for a little bit of a debate. So is Jelani.
Don't try to debate with me.
Yeah, he's not going to do all that. You don't want to debate with the party.
I'm not really going to debate either. I'm going to just tell you how you're wrong.
See, we all got our different ways, man. Anyways, we thank you for listening to the Notion Podcast. I'm your host, Dizzy D Spill, with my co-hosts in the building,
Jelani Evans,
Farmer Poe.
Until next time, peace.